King Boi. I just do this for some reason. Hello, don't ask why we're in a different angle. Welcome back to... I can't think of anything. I'm just... Action! Hello, and welcome back to Kings Boi Secrets. Today, we are doing Season 3, The Return. What am I returning to? There's no description. Now, we're like halfway there, I guess, if you want to say that. And if you remember, when was the last time I did? Hang on, let me check. Oh, a year ago. That's just lovely. So, I'm just not going to delay it anymore. You guys have been waiting for a year, which I just suddenly realized. And I'm just going to go through again. I say this a lot, and I've said it in season 1 and 2. This is based off of memory. I'm going based off of memory because I'm not just going to write down everything that we did. I will on the season 6 because that's the one I probably remember the most. Maybe parts of season 5, but we'll get to those soon. But just get bibbidi bobbidi. Hey, stuff happens. Oh, what are you doing here? So first things first, let's talk about this intro. I don't like it. Genuine, like legit, I have no idea what I was thinking with this. Like, there was no anything behind it. And just, I don't know what was my thought process behind the intro as a whole. And nowadays, when looking back at it, I just think it just goes on way longer. Like, you compare the intros from season 1 and 2, maybe even later seasons, they go on for less time, because they don't take up that long. This just feels like an overly long skit that you feel like you could just skip. Which is why I just skip it every time. And trust me, you're not missing anything out. If you want to give it a look for yourself, then I would say just watch it one time, make it out or whatever, and then just never watch it again. Because just you're not missing anything. Genuinely, I hate the intro. That's basically what I'm saying. I hate the intro. It's my least favorite out of all of them I've made. And poo-poo. Now there's one particular thing that I want to go over that I want you guys to keep in mind. And it's the main reason why I feel like that I won't remember a lot of things. And I want you to keep that in mind. But we'll get into that in a second. And what I want to bring up is the release date of these episodes for season 3. Which is like the amount of time it took from the first episode of the season to the final episode. In which we'll get to the parts of the final episode because I... So, let's put this into perspective. With season 1, it took around 3 months just to finish the season, which sure is a bit weird. But I mean, it's not the worst considering that the older episodes didn't really have any much effort compared to nowadays. They didn't have any effort. Season 2 took 9 months, in which I was just lazy and also I had to deal with like 2 abominations that I call films that were ambitious and I had big ideas for it, but we're not getting into that. And now you're thinking, oh, but maybe, how long did it take you for season 3? A whole month. The entirety of season 3 was released in a whole month, with some episodes even being released the same day. No, I am not kidding. And to pretty much show you, the first episode was released on the 6th, however you say it, which is pretty much like 2 days after the 4th of July special, aka the season 2 finale. And then for the final episode of season 3 was on the 31st. I'm not kidding, and if you don't believe me, go to season 3 and look for yourself. I was really this whole thing was super rushed, in which it's gonna lead into me not remembering a whole lot and this pretty much probably being a little shorter video. I feel like the reason why I was rushing this was about a month from that time as I was about to start school. So I wanted to finish season 3 before school started, so just in case I could just get it out of the way and not just leave it there just so I can be on hiatus and do other things with my life that isn't YouTube. So there's your reason.
You tracked him yet? Almost got it, and there.
It also kind of feels like that this season just switches to whatever it's doing. Like, for example, some of the first few episodes are just based off of things that I bought online. Considering most of these older episodes didn't have any plot. There were some in there, but most of the time you're just going to get the characters just doing the most random things imaginable. And if you can somehow think of make a plot out of that, then I question you.
Let's see what it is.
Believe it or not, I still have that DVD of The Dark Knight somewhere in the room. I forgot how I got it. I think I found it somewhere when one of my family members had it. It's also weird that it's just Kriko watching the commercial, like the DVD opening for it, not watching the actual film. And no, if you're wondering, I have not watched it, and I don't know if I ever will watch it on that DVD because that DVD is like scratched up. And if you know anything about scratched DVDs, they don't tend to work like they used to, like ever. Another thing you'll notice is that aside from the whole thing with like buying stuff online, there's a spotlight on on several car characters, or just car related characters in general. And it was because I was on some sort of cars interest at the time for some reason. Hence why the thumbnail has a picture of Cars 3, the Cars 3 game. Because I bought that off online as well. Because, oh, I need to show off. I guess you could say this was mail call before mail call. Yes, I remember that, and no, it's not coming back. Deal with it. I'm gonna be completely honest with Krieger's dream sequence here. I don't know. I will never understand why I made it like this. And I get it. This was back when I still hated Coraline with all my guts. But genuinely, I will never understand. And also, when I was rewatching this, just so I can get the stuff, get the just look back and see if I remember stuff. The explosion at the end legitimately jump scared me when I was going through it. And I don't know why. I got jump scared by my 2020 self. You can go ahead and laugh at me in the comments.
Hey guys, has anybody seen Chick? He needs to owe me my money from a week ago. Oh frick.
If you guys are confused on why Mr. the King here, the Dinoco boy there, is asking for money from Chick Hicks, it's to cover and the costs of the damages caused in that one race from the movie. If you've seen the movie, you know. But to explain it, Chick Hicks is like, "Oh, I'm not coming in behind you again, old man," and then just like yeet, just completely crash the guy. Surprisingly, that Cars 3 game, Driven to Win, I still have it to this very day, but I don't ever touch it anymore. Like, I don't touch it. It's like one of those things of where you just look at, you just touch and see what it's like, and then you just put it away, never to be touched again for another few years.
Champion, blah blah blah. Fast Boy. Worst character in the entire movie.
And yes, I used to hate Cruz because I had no taste back then. Well, to be fair, I don't know if not a lot of people liked Cruz. I don't know. You guys comment down below whether if you've seen Cars 3 and if you like Cruz in the movie. If just, yeah, I don't care. Just don't start a discourse down there because if you do, I will I will give you a spanking. Oh look, a robot that's supposed to have lore but doesn't go anywhere. Welcome to the King of Monsters 55 channel in the year 2020, folks, where you get interesting concepts, or like things that could go somewhere, but don't ever go anywhere. You're welcome, and I'm very, very sorry.
Who in the frick is this mother flipper? Wee. Where the frick is she going? I have no idea.
Now, as I mentioned previously, like I used to hate Coraline and a lot of other things, as you've seen on my channel beforehand, and if you know me, I was very, very vocal on my hatred for certain characters or films on the channel. And, of course, Cruz from Cars 3 was kind of one of them. And I honestly don't remember why I disliked her. It's like with Coraline. I don't know why I disliked her, or the movie in general. And that also goes with Cruz here. And she would be somewhat of a running gag for several episodes in the show before just disappearing and never coming back. And I still have the car to this very day, but once again, like the Cars 3 game, I never touch her.
Hey cousin, how you doing? I didn't recognize you for a second. Yeah, I'm your cousin.
The reason why this car right here is supposed to be Thomas's cousin in heavy quotations was because I'm pretty sure I showed it in a previous episode in this season is that I bought that Hot Wheels car off of the Walmart site because I mean I honestly have no idea. I guess it looked cool and like a lot of what I said a lot right here with the Cars 3 game and Cruise still have it to this very day. Don't know where it is though. There's really not much I can say about this episode, other than the fact that my acting and dialogue in this season makes me cringe to my very core.
Wow. Oh crap, mate. Uh, I was trying to do something with you mites yesterday, but I couldn't find you. Where were you?
Sure, you could say that my dialogue and acting nowadays either is like mediocre or not that great, but I would say it's better than this. I'm pretty sure in the previous Kings Boi Secrets video on the new villain in town episode, I think that's what it's called, but I can't remember, is that I was gonna establish Captain Pump as a villain, but then this was when I was really trying to establish that, in which I was going to later on, but then it just never went anywhere, and he just became like a side character. And I honestly wish I did make him a villain because I feel like that it would be interesting to see what I could have actually done with him had I actually make him a villain. Although to be fair, he would be one of those characters that just comes in and never comes back. Much like a lot of villains on this channel that just kind of, unless it's ones that are based off characters that I hated from movies, because I, I don't know.
This is not working out so well.
Yes, those are actual scissors, and no, I somehow, despite me being an idiot, I didn't cut myself with them during the recording of this. I didn't get hurt. I didn't break anything aside from that box. And genuinely, if you don't know what you're doing with scissors in times like this, I would say just be safe. Just what I'm saying is be safe with scissors when you're doing stuff like this. Just don't just use scissors in the way I did unless you know what you're doing. Now the next like 2 or 3 episodes, I was trying to like just explain how the characters in the previous episode that were kidnapped, like the minion pig, which by the way you never see again after this season, and I just kind of think it was interesting. You might be thinking, "Oh, did I do it well?" No, I didn't. I genuinely didn't. Although this whole thing with showing how things happen at the same time or around that time, I feel like that it would sound interesting, and I wish I could do it again.
You do not want to say that around here. Why? Because you already know what happens when somebody says a mid. You just said it.
You can really tell that these older episodes didn't really have a plot since, again, as I said earlier, this was made the entirety of July because most likely of school starting, and I didn't want to just leave it there for like 9 months or longer.
Classic Chris, right, Doc? Do not talk to me. On your marks, get set, go. Why? Haha, you'll never catch me. Look at this Woody. I'm coming for that. How? I'm supposed to be faster than you.
I actually kind of like this part with the car characters just racing each other and McQueen just challenging each car and just racing them as if like a way to prepare for cruise. It actually kind of made me laugh a bit when I was rewatching this. It was kind of fun, but that's the only compliment the season's getting. This part, I think I complained about it before in a previous episode, but I hate that I just didn't care about like the lighting just flashing. I think it might have been just the camera because it was back before the phone that I use now, but I just hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much. I mean, thankfully it doesn't happen anymore, at least I don't think it does, but when it does, it's obnoxious.
Ah, Storm, what are you doing? Oh, hi, Lightning.
First introduction of Jackson Storm, which I got around the same time as the other things that I said earlier with the DVD. I meant the game and Thomas, the Hot Wheels car of Thomas. And guess what? He barely does anything for the rest of the season, and he never comes back later on. Great character. I felt like I was pushing that Cars 3 Driven to Win game too much. You see why I say that this has a lot of that when I said that I was in a Cars phase at this time, or at least that there's a lot of Cars related things happening in this season. Oh, but it's not the only thing that I was like getting into at the time. Oh, you'll see, because we'll get to that later.
You did a good show. Have a break. Have a break. Have a kick.
This joke right here with the Kit Kats and all that, just don't know what to say. I just love Kit Kats. They're my favorite kind of candy, and that's all I have to say.
That must be Moss.
Ooh boy, living in the city. And if you don't get the reason why it's named this, is because the entirety of the episode has a Sonic R song playing in the entirety of it, which is literally the name of this episode, Living in the City. It's an okay song. If you want to listen to it, go look it up. It's easy to find. I just said the name of the song, just go look for it. This weird drawing of, I don't even know. I still have that FNAF notebook, and that drawing is still in there to this very day. And that you could say that Titanodactyl, I think that's what it says there, is pretty much what would become Gregory later on in Total Mayhem, which was way later, like a year later, or around a year later. Which Jeez, I was so stupid back then. Not a whole lot to this episode that I can really say, except this part right here with Gravedigger at the end of the episode is legitimately my favorite part in the entire show. Like, aside from that racing part at the end, this part right here with Gravedigger just doing the dee 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 thing is my favorite part.
Oh, wait a second. What do we do now? I have no idea. You hear that? No. It's over here. Whoa. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
Oh, would you look at that? An episode that somewhat has a plot. And I think it might be the first episode I actually planned, because it has some semblance of a plot. And I mean some. Even if it doesn't seem that well done. But I mean, it's like, compare it to like some of the previous episodes there was, whether it was in like season 1, 2, or 3, and maybe some episodes afterwards from season 4 or 5. There's actually some plot to this. Like, some plot.
Because he feels like that, he's barely done anything around here. Hey, that's that's King of Monsters in 55 in a nutshell. Breaking.
Hey, wow, this code is actually accurate to 2026 King Monster 55. How crazy is that?
I am Spoopy Duck the Third. Wait, there's more Spoopy Ducks? Yeah, I'm the third.
This thing with Spoopy Duck actually being Spoopy Duck the Third, I have no idea why I thought of that, because it goes absolutely nowhere. I don't think I brought it up ever again in season 4 or 5. It just flat out confuses me, because he was the only one. Like, his dad was the spooky one, and he only has like one sibling. Like, it consists of his mom, his dad, him, Sporty Duck, and I think Splattercrack. I think he might have been in an episode, but I can't remember. I could remember. I can't remember. I can't speak. But that's it. I have no idea where I got Spoopy Duck the Third from. He's the first and only one. Like, I guess you could say Duck the Second, or I don't know. Looking back at this episode, honestly, like, I know I said that the last thing was like the funniest part of the entire season, but I would actually say that this is my favorite episode out of all of them, because it has like a certain charm to it. I mean, compared to the previous episodes, it's a breath of fresh air, since again it has some semblance of a plot, and there's actually stuff happening somewhat. I know stuff from the previous episodes, there were some things that were just happening, but I'm saying like an actual plot of where the characters actually do something instead of just going around and just saying stuff and talking and just acting like they're funny when in actuality they're not. So this one actually made me smile a little bit, and was actually a lot of fun watching, unlike the previous episodes. Okay, I'm just gonna be real right now. I'm just straight up skipping this, because it feels like that there's really nothing to talk about, because all they're talking about is just what's going to happen in the movies 4, and other random things that really, really don't matter that much. And again, I don't know if I said this already earlier, I could be wrong because I suck at memory, but there's really nothing to talk about with this season because I'm going based off of memory. But at least with the previous seasons, I could remember a lot of things with them because I remember watching those a lot. Meanwhile, this season, there's really nothing to it since, like I said multiple times, this was made in the entirety of July of 2020. Unlike the previous 2 seasons where it's like several months. This, I hate this season. I just hate it. I mean, sure, there's some plot from time to time with these seasons, with this season at least, but it feels like it just goes absolutely nowhere, and it's just them just doing the most random stuff. And I guess you could say that this is just for fun, but at least there has to be something that goes somewhere, or at least some semblance of like character growth, development, whatever. But I guess I just didn't care about that back then. I just wanted to entertain people, and I still do. But nowadays, I actually care about what the people want to see.
Okay, what's going on over here? Wait, holy crap, new characters.
Hey, wow, new characters. I did originally plan to have these characters appear more in later episodes and just in later seasons in general. But shockingly, these characters, this episode, I could be wrong because I haven't seen the later episodes in season 4. This is their only appearance. All these characters, all of them, their only appearance. And I'm not kidding. Fact check me for the later seasons, but from my knowledge, this is the only time they appeared. Markiplier noise used because funny, apparently.
Okay, baby, no! Yeah, I know. Sir.
I think with these army men, I I think I did plan them a long time ago as characters for this, or maybe even something else that I originally had planned, but I don't remember it that well. But I do know that when I did plan them, if I did, they were exactly like this. And why they're like this to be exact, I don't know. Huh. Already almost done. We only got 5 more episodes left. I wonder what they are. Okay, here we go. KVC Part 3. Now, for those who don't know, in which if you haven't, where have you been? But I don't know if I said it. But let me say it again. This is legitimately on my list of one of, if not one of the worst things that I've created on this channel. And there are several reasons for that, which we'll get into as we go on with each chapter or episode, whatever you want to call them. And unlike the previous episodes, I can actually talk about them because I hate this so much that I can remember every single tiny, intricate detail. I don't know if I said that right. I can remember most of the details for it, just so you can see what this could have been or what it actually turned out to be and whatever. And this just shows you that this whole thing was rushed because a few of these episodes, like two of them, I'm pretty sure, were uploaded on the same day. If that doesn't say rushed, then I don't know what will. So the main idea behind this was to make it about like time travel, and you're thinking, oh, but how would you have done that? And like that's the thing. I can't speak. The whole idea of the time travel was to explore who owned Echo Town and what time was like before the whole town was just a whole thing, and just see how it was like acquired and just all that. And it would have been a decent idea, if not a pretty good idea. That is, if I actually knew what I was doing, if I actually made it the way I could have probably made it nowadays with things how I make nowadays, whatever. And if it basically wasn't the way it is. And here's another thing that you'll notice. Here's the thing that you'll notice a lot of throughout this entire thing. With like Thomas making that DeLorean sound effect when he was about to time travel, you will notice that there is a heavy, and I mean heavy, influence on Back to the Future in this. Because similar to Cars from the previous episodes, it went over to Back to the Future. And it just became a whole inspiration for this, and I genuinely hate it so much. It was specifically Back to the Future the game, which was like a somewhat continuation, but I'm not going into that because this isn't about Back to the Future. Both of these time travel characters were originally from Lego Dimension packs that I'll put up on screen right now. That were obviously both from Back to the Future, like the train and the DeLorean itself. And the reason they looked discolored is because back then, when I was building things, I didn't give a crap about the colors. All that mattered to me was it being built. And what makes it weirder is that that's not even the main issue. Another issue that I have is that, well, not only that these characters, this is their only time they appeared, I'm pretty sure, but the train's voice is literally just clips that I took off of freaking scenes from Wall-E.
Looks like that there's another time traveling train. Is that right?
Aye, aye, sir.
Hence the fact that he barely says anything for the entire appearance. It's like the other guy talks mostly, but then you got the other guy who just talks like Otto and has all the clips of him. And because it's the reason is because I'm pretty sure I did want him to talk like Otto, but I didn't know how I was able to get through to try to find like a way to find like auto voice clips or like a text to speech of Otto without going through like some sort of technical stuff because I was going to be confused about the entire thing. So that's why he barely talks. So just yeah. Okay, now we get to the appearance of a character that was introduced in this season, and guess what? He actually ended up appearing way more than the previous characters you see in this season, and that is none other than Smith himself, aka the owner of Echo Town, in which I barely even get into after his appearance. But at least he appears more, right? I had no idea what made me think of him of just naming him Smith, but I mean, there you go. His name's Smith, and he's a crab. Cause screw it, cause I don't know. Looking back at that Coraline Funko Pop, genuinely, it feels weird because nowadays, as you've already seen from the second plan, you know that I completely destroyed that Funko Pop. And it also kind of doesn't help that I just freaking hate Funko Pops, at least the ones that don't have mouths, because it just looks really weird. And just looking at Coraline before I completely destroyed her, it's like looking at somebody trying to Photoshop the withered animatronics from FNAF to make them look unwithered, and it just looks. In this, it looks more natural. And sometimes with those, with the withered animatronics, it just kind of looks cursed and actually scarier than the actual games. Nothing much to really say about this episode because it just feels more like world building, if anything. Because it just showcases what the world, what Echo Town was like before it even became Echo Town, who bought Echo Town, what my lack of care for the research of the time period or whatever. And it's not even like it's just overall not that good world building. Although the last thing that I can say about this is that I feel like an actual moron for having Coraline marry Smith because that's definitely not weird as hell. And only I know it's like she kills him later on to take ownership of the town, but I don't know. I was just in a very dark space at that time.
Ouch.
Now this episode. You remember when I said that I was specifically taking inspiration from Back to the Future the game? Well, this is where the inspiration really takes off. Because this episode is pretty much just taking inspiration from episode 3 of the game, which is Citizen Brown, where it's pretty much like this, with a little bit of like Back to the Future Part 2 in there. And genuinely, I'm standing on this mountain. If you point a gun to my head and told me to watch this 50 times in a row, whether it's like just this episode or the entirety of KBC Part 3, just 50 times in a row, I would pull the trigger for you. I don't care. Quote me on that all you want. It's a hill I will forever stand on and I will die on that hill. I don't care what anybody says or if they say this is a misunderstood masterpiece. It's not misunderstood. It is understood that it is actual garbage. And that's why I'm not going to say any more about it because genuinely I can't stand this and I'm just moving on.
Okay, you know what? I wonder where those two went. Wait.
I feel like that I somewhat gave an explanation for the time traveling characters for their new forms, but this genuinely just shows that I just did not care at the time of making these because, again, the whole thing was just rushed out to the point of where like two of these were just uploaded in the same day. And genuinely, if that doesn't show how rushed this whole thing is, then I don't know what will.
If I could only hit you right now, but I can't. Right now, my quote unquote boyfriend thinks that fisticuffs is a bad example.
To this day, I will never do a voice like that ever again, no matter if it's for Queen Turd or Lego Movie 2 characters in general or Coraline, whatever. You will never hear me do a female voice like that ever again. The only reason why I would is if, like, it's supposed to sound like that. It's supposed to sound that bad. Or whatever. And only if I'm actually getting paid to do it. But if it's supposed to be genuine, then I'm not doing it again. For those who don't know, if you're a fetus or whatever, that's a VHS as the table. And why I used the VHS as the table, I don't know. And what VHS that was, keep wondering. I forgot which one I have, because I have a few. Somewhere in the house and somewhere in my room. Finally, the freaking final episode, final chapter of KBC Part 3. And if you're thinking that the final battle is worth the wait, since it only took like a whole season and like 5 chapters to get to the actual name of the whole thing.
Looks like I'm gonna have to do the same thing to you as I did with your quote unquote mother.
Think again, because it's just me not knowing how to talk or how to be the ha-ha. And this is back before I actually choreographed fights. Not to mention no music, so brilliant. And here's the first appearance of what I call Mega Krika, which you will see several times throughout the entire series. And now, if you're wondering why I made it to where he got it from ability from a Mega Bloks Tree Rex figure from Skylanders, neither do I. And if you're wondering why his Mega form changes throughout each appearance, I wish I knew, but if I had to take a gander, it's because he got weak. It got weaker over time. But again, I don't know. That's just me guessing, because this is me from 2020 to 2021, so I have no idea. And with that, this post-credit scene would barely go anywhere until season 6. A post-credit scene where I use the audio from the post-credit scene from the film Prometheus. And trust me, the production history of the second plan, in which, yes, this is what the post-credit scene was teasing, it is as old as this. And no, I'm not kidding. It is genuinely that old. If you want a whole production history on how I somehow did it, then I don't know. Feel free to let me know, because I don't know. I'm tired. Well, that's it. I'm sorry if I didn't talk too much about it. I just wanted to. I didn't know what to say. This season barely had anything. What did you want me to say? There was nothing to talk about. So hopefully season 4 has stuff. But this time, we're not going to go based on views, but instead, we're going to make it a real challenge. We're going to go based on subscribers. And I mean it when I say this. If the channel gets to at least 400 subs, and I mean 400, at least 400. I don't care if it's like we lose one sub or whatever. But just 400. I will make secrets for season 4. And I will keep my promise on that. I do not care. So I don't know what I'm saying at this point. So what I will say is, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Just end the video, senor, please. I just want to feed my kids. Good night.